What is going on, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. I started off my day here with sanding down the trunk, and it's almost perfect. Almost perfect. There's like 2 dents. I'll show you guys in a minute. Very minor, but for the most part, for an EF sedan, my trunk is pretty straight. Usually a lot of people slam the trunk or sit on the trunk, and on the edge it would typically cause a crazy wave, and mine only has 1. Sanding down the trunk is the same process as me doing the sides of the car, as you guys should have seen in the previous video, but I want to spend more time in this video trying to figure out how we're going to fix the roof dent, and also blocking down the hood itself to see what kind of bodywork that's going to need. Yesterday was super downpouring, and I think that's going to be the last rainy day we're going to have for a while. From today moving forward, nice and sunny. We're going to be in the 75-80 the rest of the week, and we're definitely going to try to utilize that and get this car wrapped. Take you guys outside here real quick to show you the trunk before we get going on the roof. So normally this entire section is like very wavy, but if you look, pretty straight. And if you look right here, you can still see some clear coat. This is a low spot, and a low spot meaning there's a dent here where the flat part of my DA didn't touch it, which indicates a dent. So we have one right here that we could just glaze over, sand it flat, and then we have this one right here, minor dink. I was going to try to like feather it in, but I can feel that dent, so I'd rather repair it. But aside from that, just that and this trunk is pretty straight. Now I didn't sand the bottom because, like I said, the areas that don't need to be body worked, I didn't even touch it at all. All I'm going to do is give it a nice clean, and we're going to wrap right over that. So trunk almost ready to rock and roll. So let me figure out what we're going to do as far as this giant dent goes, and then we'll talk about it. So I pulled the headliner out, and I'm looking up here to see what's causing this dent on the roof. So the one that was right here, this giant big one right here, I literally just pushed it up and it went back into place. This one, you can still kind of slightly see it. You guys probably can't, but it's like, I don't know, maybe 6 by 6 or something like that. It's not that big. This giant one popped up. If I push it down, it'll probably come back right there, right? And then if I push it up, it's gone. So you don't want to do it too much, because then you can warp the metal. But anyways, this one right here is right here under this beam, and if you look on both the front and the rear, the glue is separated, right? Same thing over here. And if the roof was actually still glued to this beam, it would actually cause a bigger dent, because for some reason this beam is bent, like somebody had stood on the roof or something and bent this bar, this beam. So realistically, what's my solution? I don't know. I don't have any glue. I mean, I do have glue. I have window caulking glue for like the windshield and stuff that I could, you know, prop this skin to be up, put the glue in here and let it dry like that, and that'll like prevent it from, you know, coming down later down the road, creating the dent again. The one in the front here, same thing. But if I take, where is it at? If I take my trim tool here and I shove it in between, that dent goes away. So if I put it right there, oh no, not right there, but if I put it right here, the dent disappears. So I don't know if I just want to shove cardboard in it. It may or may not work. I think it may work logically, just thinking about it in my head. Glue would be more practical, because once the glue dries, it doesn't move. Once the glue hardens, it hardens. Cardboard, same thing though. Like if it's still in here, cardboard is like the same thing. Once you put it in here, it ain't going anywhere. Once the headliner is up, nothing's really going to move it around. But if I just leave that there, that dent's gone. And if I put cardboard here, it'll prevent this from, you know, going down, creating that dent in the future. Right now it's nice and straight, which is crazy, but I think a temporary solution would probably just be cardboard. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I'm actually gonna be okay with it, but realistically, if you could somehow bend the beam up without distorting the roof, I'd do that. But the other solution, like mentioned, is to use the glue in between. You can probably put like one of those extractable bars, beams, without the headliner in the way. Put like 2x4s and just kind of prop the roof skin up, and then just fill it with glue and leave it overnight. I'm just taking some really thick cardboard and just shoving it up there to see if it'll prop the roof skin up, maybe double it up. I'm probably gonna put it the entire way because it was glued from this end all the way over here. This one right here did the trick. Oh wow, I'm actually pretty stoked about that. I'm gonna prop this end over here just in case as well. So the last one is it's right here, this section right here. After filling in the gap with cardboard, we have the majority of all the dents on the roof gone. I'm actually pretty stoked about this because cardboard worked, and I took the headliner out because I think what I'm gonna end up doing later is I'm just gonna get some window caulking and just filling in this gap, so that way we're not relying on just the cardboard, but have the glue just kind of, you know, dry up and work as a spacer, a pedestal to connect the roof to the beam. So right now, the next thing we need to do is this dent right here. I don't know if you guys can see it, right? This dent right here, I don't know how this was caused, but it needs to be pulled up, popped out, whatever the case is, body work done to it, so that way we can get this roof looking that much straighter. So I don't know if the right way to do this is to stud it from the top or just kind of massage hammer it from underneath. We'll figure it out. I don't know what I'm doing with the hammer and dolly kit. Okay, so after massaging the skin, it is pretty popped out, except it's popped out a little too much. So you probably can't see this, but if I was to line up the camera to the edge somewhere right here, it's kind of hard to see on the GoPro because it doesn't autofocus, but what I'm trying to explain is it's popped up a little too much. I'm very aware that I might have stretched the roof skin because of how thin it is and how much I was massaging it, but right here it's like nice and flat, and then it kind of ramps up just a little bit, and then it goes back down. Just right here it comes up a little bit, and I'm trying to work it back down, but you know, working it down, up, down, it's going to stretch the metal to the point where this is probably going to be like that unless I force it down and then fill it in, which is a pretty good amount of filler that's going to go in between that. Definitely do not want that. You can totally see that right there, but if I push it back up, watch. Yeah, I don't know if you guys saw that part right there that came up. That's where that little lump is at, but it's smooth to the naked eye, but if you run your hands on it, you'll see it. So if I do a fresh wrap on here, you're probably gonna see that. So I'm gonna work this a little bit more. I'm not a professional by any means, and I've watched videos of people actually fixing and unshrinking the metal with some heat and stuff, but yeah, I don't know how that concept works. I'm using a socket just so that I'm targeting the areas that I want to go in and not everywhere else. All you bodywork specialist guys are probably punching the air right now, but I'll tell you what, it's starting to feel a lot smoother. It's a little too cold to be doing this, but we're just trying to make some progress. So we're applying body filler so we can move on to the hood. So I have the fenders taped off, headlight, I took off the center grille, and I put this little 3M film on because I don't want any like sanding dust to get in between the intercooler, the radiator, and all that. So this is gonna prevent that from happening. And for the hood, we're blocking it to see what kind of work we're gonna need to do on the hood. So we're not gonna be using the DA for this one because it's too small of a surface, and you can create dips and stuff on a fiberglass hood because it spins really quickly. So I'm going to be using my sanding block. This is a 2 feet, and it'll make my life easier to use the 2 feet instead of the 1. And I'm gonna have to change the grit on this because this is like 40 or 60, and it's going to eat the fiberglass way too fast. So I'm probably going to switch it over to maybe a 150. I think I have 150. What do I have here? This is, I think this is like 80. This is 80. This one, this is like 220. I should have another one here somewhere. All right, what is this? 120. I'm probably gonna switch it over to the 120 and block the hood. So we have the outside of the hood blocked out, and we do have a lot of low spots. Not crazy low spots, but these little ones right here, you can't really feel it. Like, you have to really dig to know that these low spots are here. I could sand it more because we are still on the gel coat, the black layer, and we can probably flat it out. Or if I put like high build primer on here, I could probably block this out, no problem. But over here we have a high spot. This is a high spot where the block was chopping more than the other ends. So this right here took the gel coat off, and we can see the fiberglass. So I'm gonna stop it there because I don't want to go too far because the fiberglass is already thin itself. But these right here are low spots because I can actually feel these low spots. Like, you don't need to sit here and dig in it. You can just run it one time, like, okay, there's some little low spots right here. So this right here, I'm probably gonna fill it in. On the driver's side here, there's a couple of low spots that I can feel, like this one here. I can probably sand that one out. I can probably sand that out. I can feel this one for sure, this one for sure, this one for sure. This is a gouge, so I got to fill that in right there. But not too shabby, not too shabby. The center, I think I mentioned I'm not going to do much with the center because the center is already super thin, and I don't want to sand it down to where it becomes thinner. And what I can feel is there's like a slight little one right here. but I do have this giant one that, again, I'm not going to worry about because fiberglass don't really have a give once the resin is hardened, and definitely do not want to put a glob of filler right here. So this is just going to be, it is what it is. Probably going to sand the front down a little bit, but I don't really feel anything here, and I don't want to do a lot of filler in the front because this is where I close the hood, and I don't want that to crack over time. I do have a little chip right there that I'm probably going to fill in, but aside from that, I'm only worried about the sides and block it out a little bit more, mix up some filler. The front of the hood, straight for the most part. Guys, I've been back and forth with this filler, and I am on round 3 right now. I've just been digging a little too much to where the dent that we were trying to fill in kept coming back out. So the hood itself is mainly done except this corner right here. Remember I mentioned there was a high spot. You can see where this was sanding down more than the rest of the area, because you can see the fiberglass underneath. So this L shape right here was a high spot that I had to, you know, break down and then fill it back in, which you can see the filler right here, to hopefully get this to be nice and smooth and sand evenly. Hopefully no more low spots pop through after this filler right here. The roof itself, we were working in just this section where the dent was at, and there was a little section over here, and then as I was sanding it with the Durablock 24, I was sanding this entire like section right here all at once, and then I found a high spot right here, which then indicated a low spot there. So I filled this in right there, and I had to do another one here because there was another low spot, but hopefully this should be the last one as well too. The trunk itself, this is also the third one. This is super smooth. Like that dent that we had here and here is no longer there, but we did have a little slight low spot on the top where you can barely see the guide coat. So I just kind of skimmed it, and this should also be the last one. So I'm really just trying to get this done because this is the last like section before we get going with the last final sand before we vinyl wrap this car. I'm stoked though because we're moving right along. When you sand too deep, you start touching the fiberglass, and then you start getting all these little pinholes. So we're gonna fill it in. So guys, it is 10 o'clock right now, and I just finished sanding the hood and the roof entirely. The hood itself, I'm not going to prime the center section. It already has a nice clean gel coat on it. It's really nice and smooth, and I was sanding this a little bit because I wanted to get all of the orange peel off. I don't know if you guys can see it, but all this little orange peel. Not entirely flattened out, but definitely a lot smoother than when I started. The roof itself doesn't even have any clear coat. It's literally base coat that I'm sanding, and this was pretty easy to do. And I did like 2 passes on it with 180 or 220, I don't remember, but it's a finer sandpaper and it's all nice and smooth all the way across. We already did the trunk first thing, I think, in this video, but I took off all the masking tape and everything. All this will be sanded tomorrow. I'm just letting it dry fully before I sand it off, but we are going to do a final sand with the body before we start the vinyl wrapping process. I'm going to hit it with 400 wet, and then I'm going to pressure wash the entire car, the engine bay, get all the dust and dirt off of it, and get ourselves ready to tackle this car in sections. But I'm stoked because majority of the body work is done. A lot of you guys are probably going to kick my butt in the comment section about not wearing a proper mask to sand the entire car down and mess with paint out of a can. But I didn't use a regular mask just to keep dust from coming in to my system. But yeah, next time I'll be sure to use the proper mask when I get the right filter for it, because the one that I have, super gunked up over the years. I've been going pretty hard with the bodywork the last couple of days here in the garage, staying out here late, working through the cold, just so we can get it knocked out really quickly, because, you know what I'm saying, there's a lot of stuff that I still need to do with the car. So as soon as I knock out the big stuff, we can get into the other big stuff. I got words today that my all-wheel drive stuff is on its way from S1, so I'm hoping that we can knock out the vinyl wrap here in the next couple of days and get going with the all-wheel drive system, because I have less than a month to get this car tuned, wrapped, dynoed, all-wheel drive converted. It's a lot. It's a lot, but we're kind of on track. So anyways, guys, we're gonna wrap it up for this video. I'm tired and I'm filthy, very filthy. I hope you guys enjoyed the progress update on the EF Sedan in today's video, the body work on the hood, roof, and trunk. Man, if you guys enjoyed it, be sure to leave a thumbs up. As mentioned, I'm gonna take tomorrow to sand the entire car down with the final grit, pressure wash the entire car, and start taking pieces off of it so we can do the car wrapping in sections. So if you guys want to stick around and see all of that fun stuff to follow, be sure to hit the subscribe button. But with that being said, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.